Project coordinators are the backbone of successful projects. They ensure tasks are organized, deadlines are tracked, resources are allocated, and communication flows smoothly between teams and stakeholders. While project managers are often responsible for high-level planning and strategy, project coordinators handle the day-to-day details that keep everything on track. Because of this crucial role, interviews for project coordinator positions test not only organizational and multitasking abilities but also communication, teamwork, and problem-solving skills. Employers want candidates who can manage competing priorities, support project managers, and serve as the reliable link between technical and non-technical team members. In this video, we'll explore the most common project coordinator interview questions, provide sample answers, and share practical tips to help you present yourself as a strong candidate. Question 1. Can you describe the role of a project coordinator? Answer begins here. The role of a project coordinator is to support the project manager by ensuring that project tasks are well organized, deadlines are met, and communication is clear. I handle scheduling, documentation, resource tracking, and team coordination to make sure the project runs smoothly. Essentially, I help transform the project manager's plans into actionable steps and ensure the team stays aligned. Tip: emphasize that you are both detail-oriented and a strong communicator. Question 2. How do you prioritize tasks when managing multiple projects at once? Answer begins here. I prioritize based on urgency, impact, and deadlines. I usually begin by reviewing the project timeline and identifying critical tasks that affect the progress of others. For example, if one project involves delivering a client presentation tomorrow while another involves internal documentation due next week, I'd focus on the client-facing task first. I also use tools like Trello and Microsoft Project to track priorities and ensure nothing gets overlooked. Tip: show that you are structured and methodical under pressure. Question 3. What tools and software do you use for project coordination? Answer begins here. I'm experienced with tools like Microsoft Project, Asana, Trello, and Jira. These platforms help track tasks, deadlines, and responsibilities. For communication, I use Slack and Microsoft Teams, and for documentation, I rely on Google Workspace. For example, in my last role, I created a shared project dashboard in Asana that kept all stakeholders informed of progress in real time, which reduced status update emails significantly. Tip: be ready to mention tools you've actually used. Question 4. How do you handle a project team member who consistently misses deadlines? Answer begins here. I would start by having a one-on-one conversation to understand the reasons behind the delays. Sometimes it's due to unclear instructions or workload imbalance. If necessary, I'd help them reprioritize tasks or provide extra support. I'd also document the issue and keep the project manager informed if it continues. For example, I once had a team member who struggled with competing assignments. By adjusting their workload, we ensured deadlines were met without overwhelming them. Tip: employers want to see diplomacy, accountability, and problem-solving. Question 5. How do you ensure clear communication within a project team? Answer begins here. I believe in setting up regular check-ins, whether daily stand-ups or weekly meetings, depending on the project. I also encourage the use of centralized communication channels like project management software, so updates aren't lost in email chains. For example, I implemented a weekly progress summary email in my last role, which helped both team members and stakeholders stay aligned. Tip: strong communication is one of the most valued skills for coordinators. Question 6. Can you give an example of a time you solved a scheduling conflict? Answer begins here. In one project, two departments needed the same resource during overlapping timeframes. I negotiated with both teams, reviewed deadlines, and identified which tasks were flexible. By slightly shifting one team's timeline and securing temporary backup resources, we resolved the conflict without affecting the overall project delivery. It was a good exercise in balancing priorities and keeping everyone satisfied. Tip: Use real examples with a positive outcome. Question 7. How do you handle pressure when project deadlines are tight? Answer begins here. I stay calm and focus on breaking down tasks into smaller, achievable steps. I communicate openly with the project manager and team about priorities, and I avoid spreading panic. For example, during a product launch, our team faced last-minute changes. I created a revised task list, reallocated resources, and kept everyone focused, which helped us deliver on time. Tip: demonstrate composure and resilience under stress. Question 8. What documentation is important in project coordination? Answer begins here. Key documentation includes project plans, schedules, task lists, meeting minutes, risk logs, and progress reports. Maintaining accurate records ensures accountability and allows stakeholders to track progress. In one of my roles, I created a standardized meeting minutes template, which improved follow-up on action items and reduced missed tasks. Tip: show that you are organized and detail-focused. Question 9. How do you track progress and keep stakeholders updated? Answer begins here. I use dashboards and progress reports to keep stakeholders informed. Depending on the audience, I adjust the level of detail. For example, a manager may want high-level updates, while a team member needs specific task details. In a past project, I created bi-weekly progress reports with charts and summaries, which helped stakeholders quickly grasp the project's status. Tip: highlight adaptability in communication styles. Question 10. Can you give an example of a successful project you coordinated? Answer begins here. One project I coordinated involved transitioning to a new CRM system. I handled scheduling, training sessions, and documentation while ensuring minimal disruption to daily operations. By keeping the team organized and managing communication, we completed the rollout ahead of schedule and under budget. User adoption rates were high, which was a key measure of success. Tip: use the STAR method: situation, task, action, result, for clear storytelling. Question 11. How do you work with project managers and stakeholders? Answer begins here. I view myself as a bridge between project managers, team members, and stakeholders. I support the project manager by handling details and ensuring stakeholders are informed and engaged. For example, I once coordinated weekly check-ins with a client to keep them updated, which built trust and reduced scope change requests. Tip: stress teamwork and collaboration. Question 12. How do you handle changes in project scope? Answer begins here. When scope changes occur, I document the new requirements, assess the impact on timelines and resources, and communicate this to the project manager and team. For example, when a client requested additional features in a software project, I coordinated with the team to adjust schedules and worked with the project manager to secure client approval for the extended timeline. Tip: employers want adaptability and awareness of scope creep. Question 13. How do you ensure quality in project deliverables? Answer begins here. I make sure that quality checks are built into the timeline and that team members know the standards expected. For example, in one project, I developed a checklist for deliverables, which reduced errors and improved client satisfaction. By tracking both progress and quality metrics, I help ensure the final product meets expectations. Tip: show that you balance deadlines with quality. Question 14. How do you handle conflicts within a team? Answer begins here. I approach conflicts by first listening to both sides, identifying the root cause, and seeking a compromise. For instance, when two team members disagreed about task ownership, I clarified roles using the project documentation and facilitated an open discussion. The conflict was resolved, and collaboration improved. Tip: employers want problem solvers who can maintain team harmony. Question 15. Why should we hire you as our project coordinator? Answer begins here. You should hire me because I bring strong organizational skills, excellent communication, and the ability to manage details without losing sight of the bigger picture. I've successfully coordinated projects across departments, kept teams on track, and ensured deadlines were consistently met. I'm confident I can bring the same energy, dedication, and results to your organization. Tip: tailor your answer to the company's goals and values. Closing thoughts. Project coordinator interviews focus on more than organizational ability. They test your communication, adaptability, and teamwork. Employers want someone who can balance multiple tasks, manage resources, and serve as the reliable connection between the project manager, the team, and stakeholders. When preparing, practice giving structured answers with examples that show your problem-solving and coordination skills. Highlight your ability to use project management tools, communicate clearly, and stay calm under pressure. With preparation, you can confidently show that you're not just organized but also a proactive partner in ensuring project success.